There's a little bit of a gap here, but it's not. Oh, but not that much.
Hello. Hi.
Do you have air? You get air from there?
Oh.
Where's the air come from?
Yeah.
Way different.
Yeah. It's way different. Now you'll.
Communication.
There's some guys with suits and ties on pointing this way. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Good.
I give sunflower delivery.
Nickname you Sunflower Kid.
Well, that would be all right.
Well, the men in black, huh?
Yes.
Hi, welcome. I'm Sharon's sister Kim. Thank you
Hi,
for
Tony
coming.
Gonzalez. Right? Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you.
Kev. Ah, we're hanging in there. You guys make me cry when you get here. Wonderful here. This is my sister-in-law.
Yeah. We went about it, and this is my
Hi.
house.
Yeah. Oh, can you
I
believe
still
it?
like a man
I
in a
was
suit.
tired-
I
I was
work for a
tired
bank,
the
so
other day. I
occasionally we do that
had to
thing.
put
You know, have the men in
Yeah.
suits, and I miss it when they come in the suits and stuff. Yeah. You're the boss of these flowers too? Hi, I'm Chris.
Hey, Chris, Jim Allen.
Cousin Chris.
Mr. Porter, you look sharp, sir.
Hi. How you doing? Hey, Austin. Good to see you. Thank you for coming. Good. Yeah, I appreciate it. Hi. Mr. Porter. Nice to meet you. When Rob would do his public addressing for the football games, I always be a spotter.
Oh.
With Sharon to spot the offense, I do the defense.
Oh, I
Friday
didn't
nights.
know that was all going on. Yeah, Ron, I'm sure.
Good thing.
Yeah,
Carter, I'm Brian. Yes, you have. Yeah, you remember me.
Of course I do.
Ricardo and Kim. Uh-huh.
I've not met you yet, Ricardo.
A long time ago.
Very nice to meet you. Yeah, you too, man.
Hello.
Tomorrow about 12. I got
So
No,
you're related to Rob?
I happen to be his mother.
Mother.
That's his mother.
Just his mother.
I had a little snack at the coffee house. Good place.
Just guess we'll go there and take a little spiel.
Yeah, and I'm
I
getting
will.
sunshine too.
Hi. Hi. You signed this schedule. Hi.
Hey, Cass.
Been a long time.
They gone somewhere?
No, not right now. Yeah.
We always
Nice to meet you.
Cousin Chris.
Chris, yes.
Nice to meet you.
Or what I've seen more of where I'm at, Pittsburgh. You know, and it's colder here. I was here, live here, and it used to be 73, and I said we talked about 62 before we're going to come. Times are changing. There's some kind of weird pattern.
Graduation or you wouldn't have missed it.
Central Florida.
Get that out of my face.
You love it.
I'm fine.
Gotta get them out of power somehow.
Where's Uncle? Oh,
Maybe that's right. That's right. That was it.
she can do it. She can do it.
You're taking 3-hour drive from Pittsburgh. It's right.
Kim, yeah, Kim's going down the line. Yeah, get up.
Yeah.
I don't think I actually saw it.
Thank you. You're cutting on the burgers. A little bit.
You'll meet all his Oklahoma clan in there. They're all there, yeah. I'm Kelly Martin.
She told me to film. Oh, Kim, you look pretty. Thank you. Kitty girly. Do a little spin. Yes. She hugs people with this garden of love. Enough of that.
Thank you for coming so much. Are you that what you look for?
You don't need one?
Maybe just skip a few. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Ron, where are you going at?
In the front 2 rows. Let's go.
That's my phone. I bet you $100 freaking
Here, you want me to carry this for you?
Yes, please.
This is cool. This is really cool. I'm going to save this for we get the blessings of quite possibly the best pastor in the country doing this for us. I'm going to give you an intro, Chris. This is what I do. What in the world are you doing? I don't know. Wait a minute. When we sat and talked about this, you said we don't have any Bible verse that we can pull from. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Chris Brown. I'd love for you to give him a round of applause.
Well, that was different, and this is going to be different. It's going to be different too. I know some of you left seats up here between family, and it's a memorial service, and you don't want to sit up front. But if any of you are brave enough in the back or middle to come up and fill this gap, that would be amazing. As I've sat with the family this week, they have made it very clear. Thanks, guys. Look at that. Look at that. You can't get anyone to move forward in church, but here, you can do it. Done. As we sat and talked this week, really what you've experienced in this first minute was the family's desire. This will be different. This is no funeral. If you expected to come to a funeral today, we are not hosting one on this campus. We will not have one on this campus today. You've come to a celebration service of a life that was lived so incredibly well, it deserves to be celebrated. And a life that has not ended, a life that has graduated to a place where this family will one day graduate and be together again. And because of that, in the midst of tears and in the midst of sorrow and sadness, we have come here today to simply celebrate. And so on behalf of Rob and Aubrey and Austin and the rest of the family that gathers here, thank you for being here today. You don't have words to express to this family that make everything okay, that will make much of a difference today. Today, your ministry to this family is simply one of presence, not presence with a TS, presence. Your presence here today is what honors them, that you would simply show up. And when you come and meet this family, either you just did before or afterwards, you're going to struggle with something to say. Either, hey, we're praying for you if there's anything you need, or hey, just keep us on a list, or we love you guys. It's the human soul trying to express something that we were not made to express. C.S. Lewis probably said it best. We are not bodies that have a soul. We are eternal souls that for a short time have a body, which means we were made, we were hardwired to never say goodbye. There is no end in eternity. So it makes these days hard because your humanness feels loss, distance. There's something within us, a soul that yearns for something that is beyond. And today we are trapped in a temporary. And I want to thank you for in the midst of your temporary showing up for this family today, for simply being here on a Friday afternoon, filling a room. Your presence is all that was needed today. So thanks for doing your part. With that then, we're going to celebrate a little differently. And I get to give you the ground rules on celebration. And you're like, there's rules to this? There is. Ecclesiastes Bible, chapter 3, says this: there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under heaven. There is a time to be born, which means there will be a time to die. There's a time to plant and a time to uproot. There's a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to search and a time to give up. There's a time to keep and a time to let go, a time to tear and a time to mend, a time to be silent and a time to sing. Today I invite you to take part in this service with the full gamut of human emotions. Today I invite you to laugh. Today I invite you to cheer. Today I invite you to cry. Today I invite you to mourn. Today I invite you, if you want, I guess, to dance. Please do it in the back, probably toward the corner, but it's appropriate. Today is going to be a time to celebrate with the full gamut of the human emotions that come into a time like this. In talking with Rob and the kids and the family this week, it was obvious so many of you know Sharon from different points of life and parts of life, or maybe you're here because of your relationship with a different part of the family. And so we thought it would be best to start just to catch you up on life. So I'm going to pray, and then following that prayer, if pictures are worth 1,000 words, we're going to give you some 80,000 pictures and a short video to close with. There is no way a simple song or picture or video montage could wrap up the life of this incredible woman. But this family did their best, pouring through a ton of photos to share with you. Snapshots of the moments that they were able to share for a lifetime. So Father, we come today, on a day like today, saying thank you. Even though it's hard to say thank you on days like today. But if there was no you, if there is no God, then this is one of the most miserable days in history for this family. But God, because of your hope, because of your promise, because of your spirit and the faithfulness this family has walked in and seen, they can hold on to those promises and know your past faithfulness shows your future promise will be just as true. So on days like today, we simply turn to you and say thank you for being who you are, for walking with us through this time of incredible need, for in the midst of our human sorrow and tears and sadness and mourning, that God, there is still hope. There is still joy. There is knowing there is no goodbyes, but until we see you then. So God, thank you for taking this incredible life, free from the aches and pains and the burdens of cancer, free from a body that was being riddled with the brokenness of this world, and for bringing freedom last Sunday morning. God, today in the midst of our celebration, may you let us sense that same freedom. God, we invite you here to celebrate the life that you have given all of us, the eternity that you have offered all of us. And because of that, we stop today to say thank you for who you are on days like today, and every day before, and every day after. May you give us what we need to celebrate the closing of this chapter and the start of another one well today. In Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
That's good.
The family has asked if they could do the sharing today. And we have 5 family members that I'd love to ask to come up to share, and then followed by Austin, Aubrey, and Rob. But Mama Pickard, I'm sorry. Mama, I think you're starting us, aren't you? You
Ooh,
are.
Mammy.
You come on up. I'm gonna make sure we're ready to go right here.
Amen.
Thank you all for coming. This is a wonderful day, but there's so many things that when people go to a function like this, they think, oh, they're going to say all things good about somebody. Well, I am going to say all things good about Sharon. We were blessed to have her as a daughter-in-law. She was a wonderful wife to Rob. She was a wonderful mother to Austin and Aubrey. They were her heart. She loved them so much. And she was a wonderful homemaker. She was so organized. She could cook a meal and not have any dirty dishes. And I don't know how she did that. I never could. But she was a wonderful person, and she, if you read Proverbs, she was a wonderful woman. She followed God's order by loving her family. And we respected her so much for that. But I want to say something publicly about her family, if I can. Her family loved her so much. They did so much for her. One thing that Austin and Aubrey did, every day when they walked into the room where she was, they told her how much they loved her. Countless times a day, they told her that. And when she was at her lowest and she could not respond, you could see her body felt that love. So it's very important to let people know you love them. And Rob, he did things for her that was unimaginable. He loved her so much. He took such good care of her, and she felt that love too, although she could not respond. And I'm just so proud of what they did. And I want to tell Austin and Aubrey, throughout their life, when they're feeling down, remember that love your mother had for you. It's a lifetime of love. You will never forget anything about her. How she laughed, giggled, even how she smelled. You will remember that the rest of your life. And I'm so proud of her, making her last days on earth. You can be proud, and I'm proud. I'm proud to tell the world how you all treated her. Thank you very much.
Cousin Chris Marshall. And that will be followed by Sharon's niece, is it Lindsay? Yeah. Kelsey? I have 2, Kelsey and Lindsay or Lindy?
Both of them.
Perfect. You'll follow this.
I'll do it in harmony.
It's hard to follow you. I have a funny story. Aunt Lois, Rob's mother Lois, and my mother Marilyn are sisters. Rob and I are cousins. And we weren't raised as cousins. We were raised like brother and sister. Always together. Actually, Randy, Rob, and I went to the same high school. So it's hard to follow Rob in high school. You're Rob's cousin? What's he up to? Anyway, many years ago, my daughter and I, Ashley, came to visit, and it was a long time ago because my daughter's in her 30s now, and she was probably 12 at that time. But Rob treated treated us a day to Disneyland. And it was Rob driving, and I was up front with him. And I'm glad you're liking my twang from Oklahoma. And she put the kids in the middle because for some reason she was worried about the back of the Pathfinder opening up all of a sudden and the kid falling out. So that's how concerned she was for her kids all the time. But someone, I don't know who, or I'm sure it wasn't Rob, bought the kids blow whistle pops. And we were headed off to the road, we got down, we got in the other lane, the other lane, and the other lane. How many lanes do you guys have? 4 or 5? And they were back there, whistle, whistle, whistle. Rob said, okay, I've had enough. Don't blow your whistles again. Okay, we were driving along, got in a conversation, having a like, I've had enough. The next person that blows their whistle, I'm pulling all the way back over to the shoulder. We're going along. It's finally someone went, okay. Who blew their whistle? All of them. I don't know. So we got to Disneyland, we got in Disneyland, we were excited to be in Disneyland, and I asked Ashley, who blew their whistle? And she said, Sharon.
Hello, I am married to Rob and Sharon's nephew, Owen. Can you hear me now? Okay, I have to learn. I've only been married to this family for 3 years, so I'm still learning to be loud. So, I'm reading this from my phone. Forgive me. I wish I had had the chance to spend more time with Sharon. Living in Oklahoma are opportunities to see what I was taught to call the California pickers were far too few and far between. However, that did not change how very clear it was to me every time Sharon was around. She had a way of bringing laughter and kindness into the room that very few people can. She always made those around her feel loved and comfortable. Her joy had a way of tearing down walls, whether those walls were an awkward situation, conflict, or just plain silence. I've been really blessed to marry into this family and come to know Aubrey as my best friend. I look forward to the special moments where her mother's light will continue to shine through her as it already is.
Hi, I'm Lindsay. So I am Rob and Sharon's niece. This is nice to have you guys right here. So because we lived in Oklahoma, every time I got to be with Sharon was either on vacation to visit beautiful California, or they were in Oklahoma to visit us. And when the California Pickards came to visit, time stops in Oklahoma when the California Pickards come. And we got to spend every waking moment together, and we always counted down the number of sleeps until we got to be together in our airport reunions. The kid part of my life, Sharon was the funny mama to these two special people. She's the best snack maker, and she taught us how to get sand off our entire bodies before we got in the car. When I became a wife and mom, I noticed the beautiful example of a servant's heart that Sharon was. It's exactly what our God asks us to be to our families, which Mama mentioned earlier. She so perfectly cared for Rob and Austin and Aubrey. I'm gonna push a big smile through that. And, and in return, they got to do the same for her and every step of her sickness. I'm sad that we lost time here on earth with one of the most precious members of our family, but I'm elated to know that she will be there to greet me when our next reunion comes. If any of you are ever missing Sharon, you just make Aubrey or Austin laugh, and she'll be standing right in front of you with her lighting her whole face up, her mouth open just a little bit, and her tongue sticking out too. So thank you for letting me say that.
Next, we have Sharon's sister, Kim.
Thank you for coming and bringing along your warmth and support. As Chris said, and I introduced myself, I'm Sharon's sister Kim. I'm the big sister. And I know her as Sherry because there was 5 years difference. And so growing up, some of you might remember the song Sherry Baby. So she was my little sister and I called her Sherry. As we got older, she let me know that her name was Sharon. So I respected that she wanted to be Sharon. However, I still called her Sherry for the rest of our time together. You know, the compliments are all the same. Everyone can comment on her hospitality and her way of putting everyone at ease. You know, she was a master problem solver as well. She orchestrated the whole household. She installed PCs. She was a bright woman as well. And she was fun. You could always count on her to go out and come home with a new puppy or something that changed people's lives. Yeah, Yogi, and then Cookie was a surprise too. And Rob was like, "Get that little rat out of here." And then so, and then just a little bit about the extended family. We know that she was sacrificially dedicated to the immediate family, but also the extended family. She bore with the family's ebbs and flows with patience and grace. Our family was divorced, and she was our rock. She was always bringing the family, the extended family together, and Sherry and Rob are such a blessing to our family, to my family, in that because we had this tragic family brokenness over time, they've overcome and they remained and had such a strong marriage to the grace of our Lord and Savior. I mean, just very admirable. It really blesses me. So she'll be sorely missed amongst us now physically, but as Chris indicated, we are grateful that Jesus has grafted us into the eternal family of God. So he's reconciled my family, and we will be together forever, enjoying things that no eye has seen or no ear has heard together for eternity. And I'm grateful for Rob's family and how they welcomed me as well. And then lastly, I want to say again, I'm grateful for her family here at North Coast because she didn't get through this journey alone. And this faith community supported her through this difficult time. But I know that she'll be rewarded well as a champion in the faith coming through this journey. Thank you.
I don't know if it's changed much from earlier this week, but I know when it came time for immediate family to share, Austin was very clear. He's like, I don't think I can say much about my mom on that day, and there's no words that you can say in one day to fully express her, but he said, I'd like to try, and I'd like to share with people why this family grieves differently today than maybe others. And as we talked about it, I thought, I don't think there's anyone better to represent the family with those words and to start off he and Aubrey and Rob sharing. So Austin, this is your time, buddy. Thanks.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming.
Can't hear you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. As Chris said, there's absolutely no way I could ever explain how much my mom means to me or what she's done for me. The only way my mom was able to fight cancer for 13 years was through her faith in Jesus Christ. The only way my sister, my dad, and I are able to get through her passing peacefully is through our faith in Jesus Christ. 1 John 5:20. We know also that the Son of God has come and has given us understanding, so that we may know him who is true. And we are in him who is true by being in his Son, Jesus Christ. He is the true God and eternal life. Again, thank you all for coming.
By far, my kid's favorite babysitter. My wife's third daughter, although she hasn't quite gone through the adoption process yet, but has been a favorite of ours since my kids were little and small. And when we looked for people to say who could we trust them with at home, when we were trying to do those first date nights and leave 3 little ones, Aubrey was that phone call. And as they have grown now and pretty much can fend for themselves, I love the relationship this young woman still has with my wife and with our family. And I know you got a lot on your heart today. I know last night was a long walk around the neighborhood, just trying to find that moment of peace and clarity. You ready for this, girl? Come on.
I'm super nervous.
Go, Aubrey.
I'm weak at the knees. I don't know how this is going to go, but I'm my mom's daughter, so here we go. Forgive me if I read off my paper. It's crazy standing in front of all of you here for my mom. Like my brother said, there's 0 words or anything I could possibly say. I'm shaking, man. This is okay. Possibly say that could come close to giving my mom the credit she deserves as the kind of mother and superhuman example of strength and beauty she was for me. She was never the type to talk about herself ever or want any attention for anything, and I think maybe that's why my parents worked out so well. But as most of you know, as most of you know, my dad is pretty out there. And she never had a problem playing the background, and I think that's something that was absolutely beautiful about her. She always taught me that beautiful things don't ask for attention. They just are, and I just don't think that could be any more her. When I say beautiful, I'm not talking about her outward beauty, because I think we can all agree how absolutely gorgeous she is. But the beauty and incredible light that she radiated came from within and flowed straight from her soul. I have trouble explaining it as anything but truly angelic. Over the last 13 years in her fight with cancer, I've caught myself looking at her, bewildered at how she was even real. I really thought she was a living angel. How she could go through what she went through with such gentleness and grace is out of my realm of comprehension. My mom always loved hummingbirds. We have about 6, maybe 7 feeders around our house and backyard, and 2 just outside the window of our family room. The sun would shine right through those blinds into our family room, you know, the annoying kind of light where it hits you right in the face. She didn't care. I got yelled at every time I would try and sneak close to the blinds and try and close them a little. She'd jump right on me and say, "Aubrey, I can't see my birds." She always appreciated the little things, the little beauties of the world. The crazy thing is, though, when looking up the meaning of a hummingbird, it says they symbolize joy and playfulness, as well as adaptability to the difficult situations in the most calm manner. It still gets me. That's literally my mother, and we'll never question why she loved those little birds ever again. Growing up, my brother and I were lucky enough to get to have her home with us. There was not one single day when her car wasn't one of the first at the gate pickup at school. Not one baseball game, tennis match, or silly school event missed. I remember one day in middle school, I just wasn't having it, and I ended up getting called out for lunch. My mom showed up with a gallon of ice cream and 2 spoons. All we did that lunch was sit there and laugh, listening to music, downing a gallon of ice cream between us, and talking about how it's just a hard day and not a hard life. She taught me that. That's the type of mom she was. She was our best friend. She would do the craziest thing just to put a smile on our faces, even keep a few things from Dad, because she didn't want to see us get in trouble.
What? Like what?
Like kids always do, though. You want your mom to agree with everything you do or want to do. But my mom was different. Of course, she was ultimately on our side, supported us fervently. But if you didn't want a real opinion or harsh truth, you shouldn't ask my mom. She always stayed true to what was right. There'd be times I'd beg her to agree with me or tell me what I was doing was right. But she never would. If it wasn't right, could hurt anyone in any way, or the outcome was iffy, I'd get so frustrated sometimes. She would always tell me, Aubrey, I'm sorry, but if you don't want the truth, just don't ask my opinion. Go through a little smirk and just, she knew. She was stubborn like that too. She knew her opinion and view on things meant everything to me, so she never gave in. That stuck with me and will forever, because no matter how frustrated it made me sometimes, I know she was instilling in me the heart to do what's right and to have respect for life always. She always had the most positive demeanor, even on the darkest of days. The day she was diagnosed with cancer, I was 13 and thought I was going to lose my mom. She sat at the foot of my bed for hours that day, telling me there wouldn't be a second that she wouldn't fight. On a day where her life flashed before her own eyes, she was consoling me without a tear in hers, carrying the faith that Jesus would pull us through. There wasn't a day that she didn't carry this mentality. Even in her fight, she was our rock. They said God never gives you more than you can handle, but dang, was she given a lot. There were days I'd be mad at God, thinking how much more a single human could take. But my mom and how she was took every new trial time and time again with such grace and resilience. A true warrior. I swear she was superhuman. I do. I will never have a better example of what genuine strength, grace, and incredible resiliency through trial looks like, other than how my mom lived. My mom and I have the same eyes, and now I know it's to see the way things that she did. I will live every day to make her proud, to try my best to carry this strength that she did, and see beauty in the smallest of things, for that's what she would have done and wanted for me. I'm just so incredibly proud to be her daughter, and so proud of the woman I was blessed to get to call mom for 24 years. And to my dad, I want to thank you for the man you are. I've never seen a truer, more faithful and godly love than what you and Mom shared. I know I call Mom our angel, but you truly were hers. The way you took care of her up until the very end is something Austin and I will never forget. Thank you for the greatest example of true love there ever was. Thanks.
You're going to need a moment after that. There are, I'll give you 30 seconds.
Can we do refreshments?
Yeah. Thanks, Aubrey. You know, there are relationships that you have in life, and sometimes you look back at how they started, and you just have to chuckle. And for Rob and I, this is one. There are very few people at church a pastor is supposed to avoid, but he was definitely one of them. It's simply because of our...
Tell him why.
It's my turn to talk. You're about to be yours. It's because of our shared passion. Oklahoma and Texas, and a Texas boy. You can all leave. And a West Texas football background for me, and we found that out very quickly. But here's the problem. We have Saturday services, and we work Saturdays around here. So I record all the games. And the staff knows, don't give away a score. I don't care how big the game was. Let the staff pull on church Saturday, Sundays, and we go home and we're going to watch these. And the goal every week is get out of church without somebody blowing the final score, so we can still meet at my house, we can have a bunch of food, maybe it's 9, 10 o'clock at night, but we got 3 games that we've got to watch, and then get back to church the next day to start services again. There's priority: church, football, church. And man, no matter how many times I told Rob, just didn't get it. As soon as the service is over, oh, that field goal in overtime sealed it. And I'm like, son of a serious, you. So it was either avoiding, or he'd come up to me beaming, and I would yell before he got there, and it's hard to be louder than him. but don't say anything. And he'd catch himself, stop, and then just walk away. Like, we'll talk tomorrow. For the last 12 years watching this ordeal, I don't know how it is if you go to church. Most of us sit in the same place, the same area, the same side of the auditorium. For Rob and Sharon, it was always over there in the live auditorium. It was always in the front section, down, usually not the very front row, but second or third from the front row on the right side. And the two of them were the greatest joy and encouragement. And then going through the seasons where it was just Rob, she couldn't make it. But then to see her rebound, and to see her back in church, and to see her just glowing, and to go up and try to encourage her, which was absolutely useless, because before you said a sentence, she was encouraging you. And I echo the words that Aubrey and Austin, they've watched on a daily basis, but Rob, as part of this church, I couldn't be prouder of the way you stood by her side. And the moment shared and the prayers that we've had, just your commitment that you will walk this woman wherever she needs to walk to the end. I applaud my friend. With that said, though, a disclaimer, the following views that you are about to hear in no way make up North Coast Church, any of our beliefs, or what I may say afterwards. This is simply on him. Please don't judge us by this. Rob, we'd love to hear from you, buddy.
I told you he'd be good, huh? Oh, this is humbling, you guys. This is extremely humbling. My family and I could not have even imagined the outpouring of condolences we got. I got 1,000 texts. I mean, everybody. And it's incredible. Chris, you're a gift, man. I don't know how else to say it. From the day we heard him speak, we were attracted to this church, and my BMO brethren can kind of vouch to that. Mom and Dad, and Randy, I couldn't have done this. Mom became my secretary, Skylar. You got some stuff to learn from her. Where are you, Sky? Kelly? Mom, write this down. I need some toast. I need some jelly. Dad, I had a list of projects for him, and we knocked them all out. We fixed the fence. He watered my orange tree that needs some deep watering. Dad, I hopefully I was paying attention. You're fabulous. Randy and Carrie, thanks for coming. Carrie, glad you're here. We're going to get to fix the hair a little bit, but we could have. Marilyn and Jerry, I'm glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here. And Chris and Karen, Owen and Kelsey. Giddy, where's Giddy? Oh, he's back there being giddy. Okay. And Brian and Kim, I'm so glad you guys are here. This is incredible. I also have an amazing, amazing work family. I sit in an open room with these people. Where are you, Jeff? I sit 2 feet from Jeffrey Knowles, right here. Him and I know what each other ate the night before. My Intercom family, thank you. Dave, Pete, Karen, Bob here, doesn't matter, he's in the spirit. And all my salespeople, you guys, I cannot tell you, I didn't know Kevin had a suit. Way to go, Kev. Good looking dude down there, by the way, in that suit, isn't he? My Mighty 1090 family. I get to play piano at the most beautiful church on the planet. And it was built by a gentleman by the name of Jack Baca and Jan Farley. My village church family that are here, Steve and JP, you guys, Sundays are a gift for me, and it's an absolute treat to have you guys here. Donnie D said something one time when we were getting ready to have a service for Kirk Con, and he said, this head will leak now and then. I don't know if you remember saying that, Donnie, so forgive me. It was like kind of getting into a couple of stories. Bob and Chris from Supercuts, long time advertiser, man. I tell you what, it goes deep if you should come to something like this. And this hair looks great, doesn't it? Let me tell you how much I love Supercuts. I took my mother there twice over the last 2 weeks. And she said, can they do old people hair? I called them up, and they said, can you, what do you call that, Mom? It was a brush and, what was it called? A blow dry and brush out. Back home, blow dry and back home. I called them up. I said, can you do a blow drying backcomb. Oh yeah, before we graduate, we got to be able to do that. So Bob, they held true to it. It's a live endorsement. This was free. You guys have been a blessing to me. I brag about supercuts all the time. Skylar, we need to fill out an invoice here.
My shoes are due back by 3.
Chris Brown usually wears flip-flops. To get him in a coat like this and tie, this is the lady that did it. Where's Amy? Are you here, Amy? Amy Brown. Oh, you're a gift to my daughter. Thank you so much. And Aubrey, that was beautiful. We'll cry, and I don't know how you wrote all that, walking around the... Anyway, 1985, April 1985, my little brother and I head west to Phoenix, Arizona. I'm there. I've been hired by Bobby McGee's to be a club DJ. I'd worked in Oklahoma City when I was going to college as a disc jockey, and so I found these people and they hired me. We go out, I'm there for a week. I put him back on an airplane. He heads back to Oklahoma. I stay there for a week, kind of learn their styles and their systems, and I head to California. Never been to California. I'm going through Palm Springs and the beautiful windmills and the whole thing. Get there, I drive right to the place I'm going to be working in Brea, California. Go in, look around, see the guy that's working, and then the next day, I went and got a map, a road map. Found Brea, California, and found the ocean. And said, Beach Boulevard is going to take me straight through there. Get in the car, got 280Z, black 280Z, it was the greatest car ever. drive to the beach in Huntington Beach. I don't know if you're familiar with Florence County. There's kind of a little lift as you go up, and then the ocean spreads out in front of you. And I thought, I'm going to have to tell my dad I'm not coming home. After I'd gone to Disneyland and saw the California Angels play and gone snow skiing in the first month, I did say, Dad, I may be here a while. Go to work, start the DJing. About a month into this, I see these two girls walk in the back. One of them's a little bigger than the other one. And the one that I noticed was about 5 foot 2 inches tall. And they sat way back in the back. So I'm doing my thing. Next day, 5:50, here they come again. Next day, about 5:10, they come in. Each time, they're getting closer to the DJ booth, just a little bit closer. At Bobby McGee's, they had a big bathtub. Anybody remember Bobby McGee's? Anybody remember? Yeah, good. They had a big bathtub where they kept a salad bar, and what they gave you as gifts and things like that were these little ceramic bowls. And so we asked trivia questions during happy hour. And so I'd ask trivia questions. Well, Ellen, our good friend, very intelligent lady, came up every time with the answer, and I kept asking questions thinking, okay, I need to make this. I've got to get Sharon up. I didn't know her at the time. I got to get her up to sometimes. So Ellen comes up. I gave her the bowl. I said, the next answer is Abraham Lincoln. Tell her. She comes up, and I've got a smile on my face. It probably wrapped around the back of my neck. How you doing? We started doing the small talk thing right there. Fast forward, she started staying there from 5 o'clock at night till about 2 in the morning. I finally asked her, I said, what time do you get up in the morning? She said, I work at 6. 6 o'clock, I said, how do you sleep? Well, we want to, come and have a good time. A month goes by. I've reserved the table right by the DJ booth. Nobody's going to sit here. And then her and Ellen would walk up to the door and say, oh, we know the DJ. It's a Friday night. It's about 8 o'clock. They've been coming in about a month every day. And this guy asked her to dance. At the time, speaking of which, the song that was out was Don Henley, All She Wants to Do Is Dance. And at the clubs, if you guys have worked in the clubs, you'll know, you got 2 or 3 different records of the same song. So this guy gets down on the dance floor, and I kind of give Sharon one of these. This guy goes down on the dance floor, he's got a date. Sharon had 1 million qualities, and dancing was not one of them. She couldn't keep. She got that from Kim or Brian, I don't know which one, but she could not dance. It was funny. So I'm sitting there thinking, well, she's out there dancing with a guy. I'll let her dance. I started mixing back and forth between these records. 4 minutes go by, 7 minutes go by, 8 minutes go by, 12 minutes go by, and finally she's looking at me. This guy's still just loving it. I think guys look stupid dancing anyway. Don't you, JP? They're stupid. I mean, I have never seen a good guy dancer, except Mike Sarah. Song stops, and she bolts off the dance floor like something had struck her like lightning. Comes and sits down, and she looks at me and goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, what are you doing tomorrow?" "I don't know." I said, "Well, let's go to the beach." "Okay," she said, "say leave." I go pick her up at at our house, our apartment, and we drive down Beach Boulevard to Huntington Beach, California. She's got a little nice, cute little beach bag and the whole thing. I take this, I'm 27, I got this old crappy blanket, orange and green or something. I lay it out, and I'm looking down the beach, and I turn back, and this gorgeous, thank you, this gorgeous, tan, beautiful girl is sitting next to me, and guys, this is shallow, but guys, you know where I'm going with this. Shallow is like turned into love like that. And I started looking for Sports Illustrated. I'm thinking, what, is there going to be a shoot here? It was wonderful. So we got to know each other. We moved in together. Mom, I'm sorry. You knew that. So did the Lord. Oh, you didn't know that. Fast forward, I called Jerry, my uncle. It's December. We've been to Oklahoma once. We've been to Pittsburgh once to meet Brian and Kim and Grandma Georgie and TR and everybody. I called Jerry. It's about the middle of December. I said, "I think it's time." I said, "What can you do for $500? He said, "Not much." I said, "I know they can." We go to my mom and pa's house, which is my mom's mom and dad, and we're having our opening gifts and things like this. And my uncle taps me on the shoulder and goes, "Come with me." Go outside, it's dark and everything. He flips up the trunk of the car, and there's this little light shining down, and he opens up this box, and it is gorgeous. It's this little bitty marquee diamond that we still have. Kind of built around it as commissions came in, guys, you know what I mean? Buy stuff. I thought the ring was gorgeous. Aubrey, you think it's pretty? Yeah. Go home. Mom and Dad take us home. We're staying with them. Mom and Dad said, "We're going to bed." So I said, "Well, okay, we'll sit up. We're going to sit up here for a little bit." My heart is pounding, Rich. It is pounding. I walk over to the TV. You have to walk over to the TV at this time. Turn it. A couple days ago. I turned it down, and I turned to her, and I said, "Well, I've got something for you." And I started walking, and I started reaching for the north of my pocket. And she went, "Ah!" And I said, "You're going to have to look at this." And I pull at her arm, give her this right here. And she says, let me touch it. I open it up, and she just starts feeling this ring. You know this. I said, "Sharon, take a look at this thing." And she gives it one of these, and she just tackled me and bear hugged. And I said, "Well, can we get married?" "Yeah, it was wonderful." We go to I called a travel agent for the first time 6 months later. Didn't know how to talk to a travel agent. We're going to go to Mexico. We're going to go to Puerto Vallarta. Has everybody been on Air Mexico? Anybody ever been on that? Morgan, you know what I'm talking about. You get on, it's dusty, there's cups and diapers and crap everywhere. She'd never been to Mexico, ever. We went one time as a family when I was in 8th grade. We went to Laredo down through Texas. We hop on the plane, we go land in Puerto Vallarta. We get off the plane, and they say, "Happy couple picture, you meet with this guy right over here. Okay, go over there." And we got to go settle the guys standing there doing this thing. There was 4 other couples that were going to be going with us to where we were going. We'll start walking towards this van. And this van was a Volkswagen bus that had been sanded. There wasn't a hubcap to be found. It was ugly. And we get on this thing, and he starts this thing up. We hop in the car. I end up riding shotgun for some reason. He starts taking off down this road, and he pulls in front of this beautiful, beautiful hotel called the Americana. And Sharon's sitting right behind me. I turn around and look at her. I said, "Look at that. Happy couple Smith. This is your stop." They get off, they go in. Keeps going down this nice road. Here comes the Fiesta Mexicana with everything, just everything you can imagine, balloons and everything. Happy couple Turner, happy couple Joiner. You guys are off here. And I look at Sharon and I said, uh-oh. The road, we get back in, blah, 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 blah. Get back in, the road turns to gravel. We are now going down a gravel road. The gravel road goes away, and we start seeing donkeys and burros and kids laying in the street and just, and I thought, I'm going to write what's the word in the movie? A very strongly worded letter to that travel agent. He pulls up behind this, we're in this back alley. We are on a dirt road, and the walls are lime green and pink and just everything. Happy couple pictures! And I turn around to Sharon, and her eyes are like this. I said, come on, let's make the best of this. Come on, we go in. We go to the front, and it looked like a check-in card where you go. And the lady hands us a key, and she goes, hang on a second. Get one of those, and out from this doorway comes a guy who's got a kitchen apron on. He's about 100 years old. He's silver haired, got taco sauce all over him. He just grabbed her bag. Sharon's going, and so she follows me. Go up, and it's dark. We're going up these stairways, and she's just got a death grip on. I mean, I think you can probably still today see it. She is locked onto me. He hands me the key, drops the bags, and just walks off. Kind of place where you see the number 2 with the 3 hanging down because it wasn't nailed in right. I slowly open the door, and it's dark. It's middle of the day, and it's dark in there. And they've got this little bitty cowboy lamp, you see, with the bucket broncos. They got these little chairs, these kids' chairs that are made out of wicker. They're about this tall, like this tall right here. And the only good thing about the bed frame was like a blue and green thing. And the only thing that was good about this room was the bed was made. Which Sharon instantly walked over and fell face flat on the bed and started sobbing. She was crying, and I'm just going. After a couple of minutes, I said, "Come on, this way." No, don't touch me. I said, "Hey!" Pastor Jack, please forgive me for what I'm about to say right now. She goes, I said, "Come on, Sharon." She goes, "I'm spending my honeymoon in a shithole." I'll never forget those words. Jack and Jan, please forgive me. I go, okay, I'll be right back. I go down to the front desk with my massive Mexican vocabulary. I looked at the girl, I said, "No bueno." "What do you mean?" I said, "The senorita pissed off at me." She ruffles her key thing, gives me a key. Go back up. I said, "Come on, Sharon, let's go to this nicer place." Up a couple of stepways, up a couple of hallways, and if you got way over here, you can see the ocean. You know, we got checking in. Got her calmed down. We go down. I said, "Let's go down the beach." So we go down. We find a couple of chairs right there. This person comes up and says, "Can I get you a margarita?" Sharon said, "Bring us 2." We're sitting there, and this street vendor comes up, and he's got his big case opened up. You know, the big, we've all seen them. You know, they've got everything under the sun. I said, no, go away. A couple minutes later, one comes over and he stands by me. He's got it flipped open, and I kind of start looking. There's some nice looking earrings, there's some rings, there's some watches, there's some pins, this kind of thing. I said, "How much for those earrings right there?" "Yes." I said, "American, what do you mean?" $6. I look at Sharon, and Sharon's going, "Well, I don't know." I said, "Amigo, I give you $4. He go, "Oh no, man, I don't make any money." And Sharon, I said, "Sharon, do you want these?" "Well, I don't know. That'd be nice." And I said, "I give you $4. He goes, "Okay, you make a good deal." $4. And Sharon grabbed these things, and she was just amazed that we could negotiate like that. Fast forward 2 days, she's down there in her red bikini, just loving life, got margaritas in her hand. She has got a line of street vendors as far as the eye could see. Everything was $2. they want $25. She goes, $2. And they say, oh, no, because she goes, next! I just sat there and was entertained for the next 3 days, and we had it was a great time. I had to, eventually, about a month after we got home, staying out late, DJing, judging bathing suit contests, and drinking tequila till 2 o'clock in the morning just wasn't conducive to a good marriage, and I said, I'm gonna do something else. Found a company called American Capital. What they did is they have, they take your 401k from old people who have worked 1,000 years for this 401k, and you invest it. I made $39 in 5 months. I still have that check. So Sharon, about month 2, is going, how's this working out here? What do you think? So I said, okay, I'm gonna do something else. Kick FM, you guys remember Kick FM? I know Wolfie knows Art Astor, a lot of you guys know Art Astor. Went and decided to get into the radio business, and went and knocked on the door. Mike Means, great guy. He hired me, gave me some videotapes. I learned a little bit about how to sell radio. I get a call in, and all my brethren over here know what a call in is. We always think call-ins are going to be great, don't we? We always do. Go out and see this guy, and he says, well, how many spots do you think I should, how many commercials for you people that don't do the radio thing? About 15 a week. You know, how much you charge for those? Yeah, well, we're 60 is about $100 a spot. He goes, I want to do this for, I'm in this 2 weeks now. I want to do this for about 6 months. So I'm kind of doing the math in my head, Tommy, you know what I mean? Don't do that in this up real quick. And my eyes get big. He goes, get back with me with some commercial copy and we'll do this whole thing. I go back and I'm like George Costanza. I got home and I told Sharon, I said, we just made $5,000. And we start thinking of everything we got. How about a boat? A boat? Yes, let's get a boat. I go in the next day and Mike goes, Rob, come here. He said, your used car dealer guy just canceled. So I called Sharon. I said, you didn't call about that boat or anything, did you? So we just laughed. And 30 years later, that doesn't happen, I don't think, Tommy does. I mean, those callers don't happen like that. Fast forward to about 3 months later, and we're pregnant with Austin. I'm sorry, not 3 months later. 3 years later, we're pregnant with Austin. We go to the hospital room. We go to the hospital. Nice person comes out and puts Sharon in a wheelchair, and I go back, flip open the trunk, and I got the big video camera. Where's Tony Michelle? Tony, you remember? Where are you, Tony? You remember we had a big, huge video camera. I was going to be ready. I had 12 VHS 3-hour tapes. I had a tripod, Lindsay, like what Lindsay's working with over there. I had a 100-foot extension cord. I was ABC News, man. I was going to catch every bit of this. So we go up. Sharon was in labor for 25 hours with this guy right here. About midway through it, this couple comes in. The guy's, it's a black couple, and his wife was a large girl, I'll put it like that, and he was a little short guy. And so I said, what do you do? They were working on her, and Sharon was doing it. I said, what do you do? Because I'm in the Navy. I said, good. I said, you going to take pictures or videotape or anything? Oh, no. I said, well, hey, I've got a stack of everything over here, everything you need. I said, I'll help you. I showed him how to work the whole camera and everything. A couple hours later, they're ready to go. Sharon's still working on this guy. By this time, I've had about 75 Diet Cokes, Frank, you know what I'm saying? And I'm So I tell the guy, I said, they start taking her out, look at him, come back out. I said, I'll go set everything up for you. I'll go in there. So I step out and look kind of down the hallway and see where the nurses are going in like this. And I get my stuff ready, get the electric cord, get the tripod, get everything, set it all up. I go walking. I pushed open the door, and this girl is ready like this, facing the front door, and I was in shock. I kind of walked over, shut down, back over there. I said, you're on your own, dude. This is all about you. Fast forward 2 years later, we have this one right here, and it was a totally different experience. She was, we got home 17 hours after Aubrey was born. The insurance companies don't like you to hang around, so it was something else. I could never replace your mom. You guys know that. I love you like you don't even know. And she did too. I'm here for you guys. I'm here for all of you. This is the greatest day of our lives. And I wish the people that I work with now that have not met this face, and she was true. And I got to have her for 35 years. And we are so blessed that you guys are here. I love you all very much. Thank you.
Thanks, Rob. We're going to end this trying to answer the two questions that you have right now. First of all, yes, that was done completely sober. Second one may be a little more difficult. I thought we'd get the first one out of the way. Well, that came to an end I wasn't expecting there, buddy. Because the second question, for those of you that have not experienced a celebration service, is what's wrong with this picture? These people are having way too much fun, making light of a situation. There's too much laughter in this room. I was expecting to walk into a darker place with organ music, a ton of flowers up front. When the family this week made it clear, we want to go with sunflowers. We don't want this to look like a funeral. These sunflowers up front, there's many in the back. They want you to take one home because this is a celebration of life, not death. And that second question lingers. Is this denial? What am I missing? It's what Austin shared. Why is this family different? And as he read from the book of John, I want to pick up in a place that's simply known as the upper room. Maybe you've heard of it before. Maybe you've seen the classic picture. It's a long table. Jesus is in the middle with this glowing thing behind him. All the disciples are lined up, 12 in a row. It makes for a lousy dinner seating arrangement, but a great painting. And it's this upper room. And yet this upper room was not a majestic scene with someone's back of the head glowing. It was a night that was steeped in the tension and the understanding of death. 3 times on their way to this room, Jesus made it clear to these 12 guys that followed him, I am not going to walk out of the city alive. 3 times he made it clear, when all hell is about to break loose, I want you to know I'm calling the shots. So I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen. I'm going to let them take me. I'm going to hand myself over. I'm going to allow the chief priest and the Romans to put me through a mock trial. I'm going to allow them to beat me, whip me, spit on me, mock me, and I'm going to allow them to kill me. And after 3 days, I'm going to pull off Easter. And 3 times he's told them, when it comes to this night, I don't want you to be alarmed. I don't want you to be shocked. I'm calling the shots. And like maybe some of us today, they don't quite get it. He's about to leave this upper room in this crowded city of Jerusalem. He knows if the Roman guards come and take him in the midst of the city, many of the other Israelites are going to try to rebel. They hate Roman oppression and rule at this time. None other blood needs to be shed except for his, so he will take this outside the city gates. He will go to a lonely garden where he and he alone can go down for this. No one else needs to. And as he's about to march his guys outside the city, we have this discussion around a table where they've just shared a Last Supper. He's ready to leave. They are not. A new command now I'm going to give to each of you. Love each other the way I've loved you. That way, you must love one another. And by this, all people will know that you are my followers. It's by the way you love one another. It's a great closing phrase. I spent 3 years with you. You saw the way I've loved you guys. Here's how people are going to know you really get this. It's not what you know up here. There's a heart change. Love each other the way I loved you. That's how people are going to know this. Let's go. And as he turns to leave, no one wants to go yet. is a great closing sentence, but they need more. Peter asked him, Lord, where are you going? And Jesus replied, where I'm going, you can't follow. You guys can follow me later. Then the disciples asked, Lord, why can't we follow you now? Peter said, I'll lay down my life for you. And Jesus answered, will you really lay down your life for me? I tell you the truth, before the rooster crows 3 times, you will disown me. Do not let your hearts be troubled. Trust in God. Trust also in me. You see, in my Father's house are many rooms. If this weren't so, I wouldn't be telling you. I'm going there. I'm going to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come back and take you to be with me, that you also will be where I am. You know the way to the place where I'm going. Let's go. It's his second shot at famous last words. Okay, I tried to tell you guys just love each other the way I loved you. Let's go. Obviously, you're not ready to go yet. So now let me make it clear. I'm going to a place you can't go now. I'm going back to my Father's house. There's plenty of rooms. I'm going to go and prepare a place for you. So one day in eternity, we can all be together. Got it? Good. Let's go. He gets up to leave. The disciples don't follow. Now this time it's Thomas. Thomas said, Lord, we don't know where you're going. How do we know the way? I have no clue what you're talking about. Heaven and rooms and people going there. It sounds great on days like today. It sounds like people should say something like that on a day like today. Well, Sharon went to a better place. I mean, we all get to go to a better place. But look, honestly, I have no clue where you're going. So how in the world are we supposed to get there? And Jesus answered, I am that way. I am the truth. And I am the life. No one will ever get to God except through me. If you really knew me, you would know my Father as well. From now on, you do know him and have seen him. One of the most ridiculous, audacious phrases in all of history. One of the most arrogant statements ever made in all of history. I'm the way to heaven. That's the truth. I have to be your light. No one gets to heaven unless you go through Jesus. Come on. No one, no other religion, no other belief, no other philosophy, no good people. Come on. If you can't pull off Easter, being dead for 3 days, you can't back up these words. These are words that rip history into 2 categories. All things BC and all things AD. Our dating system goes back to all things before this man and these words, and then all things after this man and these words. These words have ripped apart our very holiday system here in the States. I don't care what you think about Jesus or Christianity, but you're still not going to work on Christmas or Easter. There's still going to be a Thanksgiving because a group of people for religious freedom and practices left home, went through the hardest of winters where most of them didn't make it. Feast of giving thanks to this God. These words have changed the very fabric of humanity because of a guy that backed up these words by pulling off Easter. I'm the way. I'm the truth. I'm the life. Philip says, Lord, can you just show us God? That would be enough. Oh, I wish on days like today we had that privilege. I wish on days like today that we had a special thing here as Christians that you have to lock the door, make sure everyone swears, you can't say what you're about to see. The screen, we're about to show you heaven. We're about to show you Sharon, and we're going to show you God. And that's what I want. On days like today, I want proof. Can you just show me God? And I'll buy into this. Jesus said, don't you know me, Philip? Even after I've been with you for such a long time, anyone who has seen me has seen God. How can you say, show us God? Don't you believe that I am in the Father, and the Father is in me? He will share a few words. They will get up and leave the table. They will walk through the dark streets of Jerusalem and get outside into a garden. The torches of the Roman guard will catch up to him. And just like he called it, all the disciples will run for their life, and he will give himself up. He will allow himself to be mocked, spit upon, beaten, and whipped. The Son of God, the creator of the universe, the one who in Genesis 1 spoke words and planets fall from his mouth, allows himself in humanity to be nailed to a cross. So 3 days later, he can rise from the dead and pull off Easter and back up everything he claimed that night. A night where every one of his followers were focused on death. He simply says, don't let your hearts be troubled. Believe in me. But you're going to have sadness. You're going to have tears. You're going to have the next few days and weeks and months and holiday celebrations and weddings and the births of your own children, where this hurt and pain will bring sorrow and sadness. This is not something you get over. This is something you learn to walk with. And in the midst of it, he says, though, you don't lose your heart over this. You don't lose your heart over this. Trust in me and trust in my words. I'm the one that pulled off Easter. I know what I'm talking about when I talk about life and death. It has been 2,000 years since those words. And those of us that have learned that he is the truth, that he is our life, have also found the way. So forgive us if it seemed a little out of place to talk about tequila shots on a day like today. To talk about whistle pops in the back of a car. Forgive us on days like today if there's a lot of laughter and a lot of joy, because we refuse to say goodbye. Life does not end. There's a choice you make on where to spend it. But life does not end. And my watch simply says it is 2019. Since him, he changed time. This weekend I'm putting together a message because many will come to worship him. But you'll slam your finger in a door, stub your toe on something at night. His name will also come out of your mouth. He is Savior, and he is swear word. Who else has pulled that off? You've never Benjamin Franklin something in your life. We don't curse great people. We don't curse great leaders. There is something innate in our nature that knows God invaded earth, and there's power in that name. That is not a pie in the sky hope. That is not fingers crossed. I think we all go to a better place. We don't. That is knowing without a doubt. Sharon knew my God. She walked in that life. She had his love. She followed his truth. And I know without a doubt, last Sunday morning, she was on her way home. So with that, we will celebrate. In the midst of tears and sadness, we will laugh. We will hold each other and mourn differently. And as of our meeting with this family in front of you Tuesday, Rob simply said, share why this will be different. And I believe I just have. Our hope and prayer is that from this moment on, you do something with this. We close with a poem. by Linda Ellis. It is simply called The Dash. I read of a man who stood to speak at the funeral of a friend. He referred to the dates on her tombstone from the beginning to the end. He noted that first came the date of her birth and spoke of the following date with tears. But he said what mattered most of all was that little dash between those years. For that dash represents all the time that she spent alive on earth, and now only those who loved her know what that little line is worth. For it matters not how much we own, the cars, the house, the cash. What matters is how we live and love and how we spend our dash. So think about this long and hard. Are there things you'd like to change? For you never know how much time is left that can still be rearranged. If we could just slow down enough to consider what's true and real, and always try to understand the way other people feel, and be less quick to anger and show appreciation more, and love the people in our lives like we've never loved before. And if we treat each other with respect and more often wear a smile, remember that this special dash may only last a little while. So when it's your eulogy that's being read, with your life's actions to rehash, would you be proud of the things they say about how you have spent your dash? May today's celebration encourage you to walk out of here and love those that right now you share a dash with deeper. May you forgive more freer. May you pick up a phone to those that you haven't talked with in a while, just to say hi. May each of us take time today to look at our dash and ask ourselves, is there anything that needs to be rearranged? And the final wish of this family, do you know for certainty at the end of this dash where your story goes? It is a simple prayer. God, you hung around disciples that didn't get it. They lied. They ran away from you. They rejected you. It looks like I fit. But you offered for those that believe that you are the Son of God, that your death covers whatever penalty, whatever debt we have, that our surrender to your truth in your life. You made the audacious claims that anyone who saw you saw God. And it's a simple prayer and act of surrender that brings us on today's days like today, Joy. Father, may we be a people that can take the incredible celebration of Sharon's life today and do something with it. May we be able to make a list of our own life right now. What is it I need to start doing? What is it I need to stop doing? And yet, God, that is how we love others, not love you. Loving you is not starting to be better people. Loving you starts when we stop being ourselves. And we let you have us. God, for those today that this was weird or different, I pray that they may have a time of just coming to you with what little they know. A new journey, a new celebration of following your truth, your life, so that they may walk in the same joy and one day be home with you and us. God, for this time that follows right now, may we have a time of sharing stories, of meeting people, of hugging this family. May we realize we have no words to truly share with them, but may we just share ourselves with them. God, thank you for every life that took a Friday afternoon and showed up with their presence and gave this family what they needed. For Rob and for Aubrey, for Austin, for the rest of the family, for the weeks and months to come, as they settle into a new normal, may you be more present, more evident in their life than ever before. God, may the words they profess in this book that we read may never ever be religion, but may it truly be about your Spirit, God, walking with them. Give them what they need for the days and weeks and months and years to come. God, as they press into you, may you be more than enough for this family's life. God, thanks for the way you love us and for who you are on days like this. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
On your way out, we would love everyone to grab a flower there in the back. Right next door, there is a reception. There is food and there is drink, and we would love you to stay and share if you can. At least get something on the way home. Don't feel bad. I just want to get a plate, but I need to leave. Get something on the way home. That's what it's there for. The family will be next door as well. You're invited to stay. Again, on behalf of Rob, Austin, and Aubrey and the family, thanks for coming.
Hey, could I ask everybody, if you don't mind, before you turn off, I'd like everybody to sign this picture right here. I've got magic markers. If you guys don't mind, for your name just anywhere on here, on my face if you want to. It doesn't matter. I'll let you start, Jerry Donadio. You can be the word one.